Three, two. You'll remember that Louis IX is Blanche's son, for whom she built Angers, which was the subject of our last day 6 adventures. Well, that was bad.
Paris to the past, day 7, Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. Metro line 4 to Ile-de-la-Cité.
Now you'll remember that Louis IX is Blanche's son. She built the fortress at Angers during the Regency years. That was the subject of our day 6, Paris to the past.
Blanche was still around, and she was really instrumental in helping her son get the holy relics to house. Now, the house he built was resplendent with stained glass, and the stained glass tells all the normal biblical stories, but it has one extra story in it, and that's the story about how Louis the Ninth brought the holy relics back here to town and housed them in Paris itself, which further solidifies the idea of kingship being hereditary and ordained by God.
They're very strict about the entrance times for when you can go in to see Sainte-Chapelle, so we stopped and had a little drinky poo before going across the street and for our appointed time. But today's adventure has us taking a trip back to the Gothic church architecture and the symbolism of the Age of Faith here at Sainte-Chapelle. The place wins Best Stained Glass award for sure. It may not have the sheer massive square footage of Chartres, but it more than makes up for that with far closer proximity of the glass to the viewer. That much improved external buttresses, the architects kept getting better and better at how that works, and this building is the pinnacle. And the fact that the windows are all stained glass, no other types of windows. And most of these are original. We're looking at the real stuff. We're seeing what Louis IX saw when it was built. I'm reminded of the fact that these buildings were the books for the people before printing press and the spread of literacy among the masses, modest though that may have started. This small, relative to the size of the cathedral's building, was built as a reliquary, which in the Age of Faith is a power play. Queen Mama Blanche and her son St. Louis IX have seized the opportunity to obtain and consolidate the most holy relics of the Christian world to Paris, thereby greatly elevating France towards empire. Now that won't be fully realized until Napoleon, but that journey starts here at Sainte-Chapelle. The Latin Emperor of Constantinople has found himself in deep financial doo-doo, and for whatever reason, he pawns, yes, pawns, puts into hock, the relics of Jesus Christ that they have held since the Byzantine Roman Empire found that they couldn't guarantee their safety. The most important of these relics was the thorny crown which King Louis IX will garner and use as a symbol of his God-given right to wear his crown as the monarch of France. These were big power moves, and they built this medieval Disneyland of a building to make those points to the world.
When you arrive at the chapel, don't be dismayed at the dark, claustrophobic room on the main floor. This area was built for the servants and the lesser nobility to worship in. You'll find the way to the upper chapel at the front of the building by going up a winding stone staircase until you enter into the second floor. This is where Louis IX worshipped. The bejeweled stained glass made me feel as though I was standing in a coloring book with all the pages filled in with these bright hues. Behind the altar tells the story of Christ's life. The rest of the room, sweeping from the left all the way around to the right, basically from floor to ceiling, portrays Old Testament biblical stories, except those last panels on the right. These panels, in the same style and beauty as all the stained glass, tells the story of the relic's history and of King Louis IX's miraculous journey to bring them to Paris. Boy, we all need a mom like Blanche.